So if I'm answering less questions from chat, that's why, because I want to post this on YouTube because people love tier lists. And I think I want my opinion to be heard because I don't think my opinion is super common. I will say that. I don't think I have the most common opinion for tier lists. So I think that there is S tier. I think there's A tier. I think there's B tier. And then I think there's C. I'll go with C for now. I might have to adjust these a little bit because I'm not sure that there are any true C tier characters, which is already like a hot take. So we're just going to go left to right as it is on this. Thank you for the sub, Lil Mama Melon. We're just going to be going left to right. So first off, this is Myth. It took every fiber of my being not to call her Huntress because that's what her name was as of like a month ago. But this is Myth. So she can walk through walls. She deals most of her damage with her left clicks. She has a bow and arrow that kind of controls like the bow from Hades. All of these are things that I said in my video. So if it sounds like I'm repeating myself, it's because it's the way I describe the character. And she has a lot of tools in her toolkit. She has a knockback to deal with getting dove on top of. She can walk through walls for escapes. She has a lot of high damage and a lot of range. The high range is really important because she invalidates some other characters like Kingpin and like Felix by having both high ranged and a get off me tool. Because if you're playing a melee character like Kingpin into Huntress, not only are you outranged, but the second that you try to get in range, if the Huntress is good, if the Myth is good, then she will knock you back immediately with her knockback. And it feels really hard to ever truly get in. So I think Myth has everything she needs to succeed. I don't think she's overpowered, so I don't think she's S tier, but she is very solid A tier and a good starter character. Ghost. Ghost is very good in a very simple way. He does a lot of damage very fast. He doesn't have any cute gimmicks. He doesn't really have much technology. He has a simple kit that is easy to understand, but oh my god, they buffed this character's damage about a month ago and they have not dialed it back yet. This character does way too much damage. When piloted by a good player, Ghost is S tier. There's no doubt in my mind. He does so much damage. He can 100 to 0 you in a second flat. I think the fastest we ever got it was like half a second with ideal conditions, but he can literally 100 to 0 your health bar in a full second. It's absurd. He also has really good mobility. Just his shift is a very solid mobility ability that lets him chase people down and get away. So he, much like Huntress, he's kind of like a better version of Myth. I'm using Huntress and Myth interchangeably, of course. He's kind of just a better version of Myth, in my opinion, because he does most of his damage with his left clicks. He's very mobile. He has a lot of get off me tools and is self-sufficient, but he just does more of it. He just does more damage. Shrike. If you are a new player and you are watching this video or you are watching this video before playing your first session, Shrike is going to be up here for you. Shrike will kill you in 2 hits. Make no mistake. She will kill you in 2 hits. You will get hit with 1 bullet. You will get hit by a second bullet. Almost regardless of what character you are, if the Shrike has decent items, you will die. However, her wind-up time is very slow. And she can be punished during that wind-up time with different abilities that you can throw on the ground to punish her while she's locked in place and can't cancel her animation. They also made some recent nerfs to her that inhibited kind of what she's able to do as far as dashing while also shooting. So I think that Shrike actually, while she might feel up here for new players, I would personally put her in B tier right now. I think she's good. I think she's especially strong in lower level play where people won't be as good at punishing her weaknesses and will get hit much more often by her left clicks, because this character exists to teach you the lesson of using cover to avoid getting shot. So until people learn those lessons, she's up here. But I think in like mid to high level play, Shrike drops to B, personally. Shiv is good. When I first started playing, she was way better than she is now. Mostly just because I think other characters are better now than they were before. I don't think Shiv has gotten much worse. I think if anything, the way that she plays now, I think is a lot more fun and a lot more interactive than the way that she played when I first started playing the game. I think they've made a lot of really positive changes. However, now I think Shiv is just solid. She's just good. She does a lot of damage. She's lacking in the utility department, which means that the player playing her has to be a lot better to make her look good. But I think when you watch the best players play Shiv, they can gun down an entire team 1v4, and because of that, she has to go in A tier. I can't see her any lower than A tier. I wouldn't bump her up to S because I think the effort that she has to put in to accomplish the goal that other characters can accomplish is a little bit more, but it looks way sicker when you do it. Kingpin contested. You can't see his face because of the way that the picture is cropped, but this is Kingpin. I play a lot of Kingpin. I spent most of last playtest playing Kingpin. A lot of Kingpin players in the last playtest swapped off of Kingpin because they weren't happy in the spot he's in. He struggles to get in versus characters like Myth and versus Joule and versus Celeste. He really struggles to get in. But I think that the value that comes from his hook is like, if you hit a hook, most of the time a hook is a kill. And you can use his hook to pull in ally and enemy wisps, which is really useful. And you can use his hook to save people and to execute people. I think all of that is really important. And so it makes him so this character could never truly be in C tier, in my opinion. Even though he's kind of struggling to accomplish his goal to assassinate people just because he has difficulty getting in sometimes, I think that his hook provides so much utility that he has to be in B tier. So I'd put him there right now. My heart says that he should be in A tier because I think that the way that I play him, I feel like he's better than Shrike. But I think that realistically, this character is more likely a B tier. Okay, anybody who playtested the last patch knows where Joule is going. Joule is going straight to S tier. Most people think she is far and away the best character in the game. I don't know that I would go that far, that she's far and away, but I do think that she's incredibly strong right now. She does a lot of damage. She has high burst. She can one combo people if you do animation canceling correctly. To where if you hit her pick ability, if you full combo people, you will 100-0 most characters in the game. And you will have your dash reset, so you can 100-0 them and then get out as well. And most importantly, her dash, which is on a fairly low cooldown, like a 5-second cooldown when you fully upgrade it, her dash grants you invulnerability during the entire time that you're dashing, which can be used to dodge key abilities from other characters like Kingpin. If he tries to slam you, you can dash through it and dodge it with your invulnerability. You can use it to dodge Bishop Punch. You can use it to dodge Myth's knockback on her right mouse button. You can use it to dodge all sorts of things, and because she has built-in resets into her kit, imagine you're getting 3 or 4 of those invulnerable dashes in a row, and you're basically unhittable while also pumping out damage. I see some people saying in the chat, she is definitely harder to pilot than the other characters. She has a lot of animation canceling. She has a lot of combos that you have to learn. Her abilities are actually somewhat hard to hit. So as a result, her win rate doesn't appear super high in some of the data. But when a good player is piloting this character, there might be no better character in the entire game. Felix, I am torn on. I know a lot of people think Felix belongs in this tier right now. He got some very nice compensation buffs recently that make him feel very strong. He can go in and pull an entire teams towards him and pump out damage and apply anti-heal to all of them. But I think that Felix goes here. I haven't ordered each tier yet, so I don't know if he goes here or here or here, but I think more than likely he's either here or here. And the reason is because Felix struggles fundamentally from the issues that other melee characters like Kingpin struggle with, which is that when you're playing into Joule, Ghost, and Myth specifically, you can really struggle to get in and make space. You can dash forward and you might just get immediately knocked back by one of these 2 RMBs. You can try to use all of your mobility to get in range, but then the enemy player might just use their mobility to get out of your range, which can cause a problem. So I think that if Felix, especially on a flank, if you find a flank from out of vision on Felix, you will decimate an entire team immediately, and they can't do anything about it. And he's very, very good. But if you are trying to approach people from the front, you will run into problems versus these characters that are just a little bit better than him, in my opinion. And that's the reason why he's in A tier. But Felix is a really strong pick. He's also really fun to play and really user-friendly. So I think that if you're starting off in the game, Felix and Shrike so far are the best options for that. Bishop is really fun. I love Bishop. She feels like kind of a one-trick pony with the way that most players play her. I'm not actually putting her in C. This is just where I'm putting her for the meantime. I think that she feels like a one-trick pony occasionally because a lot of players play her as the punch character. You either land your punch and decimate the whole team, or you don't land your punch and you run away. Yeah, that link is not real, I think. So I'm going to time you out for a second. But you either land that punch or you don't land the punch and you retreat and then wait for your punch to be back on cooldown. But Bishop can do a lot of really cool stuff with kiting back. She has a lot of really awesome movement. I think Bishop belongs firmly in A tier. She pumps out a lot of damage when used properly, and if you land a big punch, it's instantly team fight ending. Okay, Brall. Brall is contentious. Brall draws a lot of fire from the community for being, if not straight up like strong / overpowered, very annoying to play into because he has a ton of mobility, sticks on you like glue, and has executes built into his kit, which put you immediately into death state. You don't even get to turn into a wisp. And they reset if you land the sweet spot, which means that he can just take over a team fight with reset, execute, and completely steamroll you. I think Brall is very strong. I think at minimum he's A tier. I think he's in this kind of Felix to Myth range. I don't know if he's in this top tier simply because I still believe that he can still get knocked back by characters like Myth and Joule and Ghost and 100 to 0'd before he can really get in range. So I would put him up here with Felix. The only reason that these two characters are not in S tier is because they simply struggle into get off me tools. Celeste is in organized play. She's here. You will see Celeste in show matches and in high level lobbies. You will see Celeste on almost every single team because the value that she brings to the team just by existing is so high. Her ultimate can change the pace of a fight immediately. She has a lot of really good zone control. She's very high range. She possesses some of the best and only disengage tools in the entire game. So you will see her be very popular. I don't know if she's top of A or bottom of S. I'm kind of on the fence. I know she received some compensation nerfs recently, I believe, that have made her damage a little less potent, but I still think with the range and the disengage that she provides, I would put this character as a low S tier. You know what? I think what I'm going to do is I'm realizing that I'm going to add a row below, and we're going to have S plus and S. I think that this is more accurate to how it feels right now. And then I'm going to change this color to, let's go purple. I like purple. I think this is slightly more accurate. I think that Ghost and Joule deal incredible damage. I think that these characters have incredible tools, but sometimes struggle to deal the damage as quickly and as easily as these two deal. Void is an unfortunate character because I actually think Void is like here in reality. So that's where I'm going to put him. However, in terms of actual results and empirical data and stuff like that, and what we've seen Void players do so far, Void is like down here, maybe even down here. Because this character is very complicated. He feels like he was picked up out of a different game and placed in SUPERVIVE, which is not a bad thing. It makes him very unique and very fun to play. But I think that a lot of his tools are very underutilized, and I also think that a lot of the matchups that are traditionally viewed as poor for Void are actually a lot better than people think. So I would actually put Void here, right above Shiv. So now we're getting onto the supports. People who have been watching my stream will know this. Supports in this game are not true supports. Supports in this game deal damage. They're not just straight up healers. They deal damage, and they take damage, and they're not like tanks or supports as you would envision them in other games. The first of these is Elluna. Elluna is going straight into S tier. I'm on the fence about putting her into S plus tier. She's like very top of S. Simply because this character warps the way that you have to play out fights. The most important part about Elluna is that she can pick up her down teammates in her backpack and run away and resurrect them away from the danger of the fight. What that means is that it drastically changes how you have to play around downed enemies. Normally, if you down an enemy, you don't have to contest that. They'll just bleed out and die, and if the enemy team tries to step on top of them to res them, you'll just attack the enemy, right? But when you play versus Elluna, the second you down an enemy, a good Elluna will swoop by through your screen, immediately pick up their teammate, res them full, heal them to full, and then send them right back into the fight. And it is so annoying, and it's so obnoxious, especially combined with Brall. These two together as a duo are like S plus tier. But as individual characters, I would put them here. So I think that Elluna lacks in some other areas. Like, she honestly doesn't deal that much damage. Like, she deals some damage, but she doesn't deal that much damage. And her healing is actually less than Zeph's overall, I think, consistency-wise. But I think that the ability to just completely change the pace of fights by picking up your teammates makes it so Elluna is an S tier. And especially in Deathmatch, or Arena as it's called, she's way stronger than she is in BR. And she would be S plus tier easily in Arena. But I would put her in S tier. I think that a lot of this is because there are a lot of good Elluna players as well. She's one of the most popular characters, but I think that her ability to pick up teammates and resurrect them makes her my favorite support to have on my team. The next support is Oath. Look at this little silly guy. He's a like robot paladin Reinhardt-esque, but not really character. So he has a shield that he can put up to control space. He has a heal built into his kit. Thank you for the sub, DJ. He has a heal put into his kit. And he does a lot of damage if you get into his zone. Especially if you are pinned against a wall by an Oath. He will just stun you against a wall over and over and 100-0 you, basically. So, I actually think that Oath is like a little bit slept on. There are only a few players in the game that I feel like are really making use of Oath. One of whom is my teammate. So my opinion of this character is a little bit higher. I would put him here. I don't know, of these four, like Void, Shiv, Bishop, Oath, I don't know that I would put any of them above the rest of them necessarily. I think they're all kind of in the same level. Actually, I'm going to move Huntress up to bottom of S now that I think about it. I think this is the A tier. Last character we've got is Zeph. Zeph is the last support on the list, and he is in a very interesting spot. They've been messing around with his kit a lot because the way that it was a few patches ago had him dealing way too much damage. Obviously they want the healers to deal damage, but he was like out DPSing some of these characters that are pure damage characters. Now, his kit works a little bit differently. He still has really good sustained healing. He still has really good movement, and his grenade that pulls people towards the center is really strong. I think in the right hands, Zeph can be strong, but honest opinion, I think Zeph is like top of B tier right now. I don't think he's in A tier. I know that people would disagree with me. I know that there are a lot of players who still feel like Zeph is strong, but I would put Zeph down here just because I think his tools are a little bit more tame than a lot of other characters in the game right now. I think a lot of other characters, especially as you get up into this S and S plus tier, just have more tools, deal more damage than Zeph, and it can't be offset by his healing. And Zeph also takes a lot of ability points to really come online, whereas a lot of these characters are strong from level 3 onwards. Zeph needs 2 or 3 points in his heal to really start feeling like he does something significant from the healing department. And so he's really strong in the later stages of the game, but it makes it a lot harder to bully other people early and wipe other squads and get loot fast that way. So I think I would put him in B. So that's the tier list. I feel pretty confident about this. That being said, like I separated these into 4 tiers, but please do note that no character is below B tier. And I truly mean that. And B tier in most games means mid tier. So the worst characters in this game are mid tier. And I truly believe that all of these characters are playable. Kingpin is my current favorite character in the game and who I'll probably be playing a lot on stream. My other favorite character is Joule. So I play both ends of the spectrum, and then I play Void and Bishop in the middle here. So really every character is playable. Play who you like, try them all. Try to capitalize on their strengths and weaknesses, but more than anything else, all the characters are fun, all the characters are playable, and this is just one guy's opinion. I'm sure that other players, if they have made tier lists, or if they continue to make tier lists in the future, they'll put different characters in different areas, and they might have a more polarizing view where they think that the characters are not nearly as close together as I put them. But that's my opinion on it. So for those of you who are watching this on YouTube and not live, I appreciate you tuning in. And I will be live on Twitch literally every day streaming this game for the entire window of the playtest, and I hope to see you in there for some key giveaways and for some drops.